continues.
Meghan McCain coming into the studio. Of course, the daughter of John McCain. I think most people know that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Decided to be.
What's she what's she promoting or
Her show.
doing? Oh,
She's on the side of seeing her on bus heads.
Yeah, she's got a big show.
Hi, Megan.
Hi, Megan.
take a seat.
How are you?
How you doing?
Oh, you remember Sam,
Good.
do you?
Good to see you.
Of course she does.
Yeah.
Remember
Oh,
Sam? No one remembers.
You're on
Sam.
buses and
Sam
stuff.
interviewed me, and the thing about my interview with Sam is he's weirdly disarming, and it was a
Really?
really good interview, and he could have gotten a lot more out of me than me. Because it was like talking to a friend or someone.
Oh,
and
one of
then
the
the
girls.
interview was on the internet, and I was like, I am in the zone in this interview, and I'm totally not paying attention to the fact that I'm being interviewed. You could have gotten a lot more out of me.
Damn,
Next time.
Sam.
FYI.
Like what?
Sam is disarming but incompetent.
But then we have to ask, what could he have gotten out of you?
I mean,
See, I'm smiling a lot, so I'm trying to disarm you as well now.
it was just the two of us in a room, and it was
Yeah.
like the last interview. We were talking about like tattoos, so it was fun. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Whoa.
Jeez,
Sam's
Sam
blushing a little bit.
Roberts.
Yeah.
Yeah, am I making you uncomfortable?
No, it's the other three that are making me uncomfortable.
Why? We don't like you being complimented.
I know, that's why I'm uncomfortable, because I'm waiting for the other shoe to fall.
No, it was fun.
We're not good with compliments around here. We're very
sorry.
insecure.
Thank you guys for having me this morning.
Of course. I've been seeing you on buses and no
Yeah.
pursuits. It's amazing how I'm just. What is it? What's it called? It's a giant. How can I wait?
It's a wrap. They wrap the buses.
Right. What's the name of the show? Because it's on every bus.
Raising McCain.
Raising McCain.
My favorite part about it is how much it has. Can you swear on this show?
Yes.
Yes.
How much it has mind fucked all my ex boyfriends.
Oh, man.
Seeing your
Really?
ex girlfriend on a bus down the street.
when
It
they're-
makes me
It's
so
nice when they're on the
happy.
grill of it.
I know. I've seen a few of mine on milk cartons.
We got to ask the basic question. What's the show about?
It's a talk show, but it's filmed like a documentary, and we talk about issues that are serious, but we do it in like a fun way. It's really different and experimental, and people really love it, and people really hate it. So it's take your pick.
When I saw you at the Comedy Cellar one night in the
You saw
olive
me
tray.
when I was taping.
Right.
Crazy enough. Yeah.
What was the segment you were doing?
That was the one on bullying, and we interviewed Judah Friedlander after his.
Oh, okay.
set.
He is a bully.
Yeah, he's a creep.
Judah Friedlander.
Yeah, we all know that.
World champion my ass at bullying.
What? Exactly.
I loved him actually.
He's
He's an
great.
interesting
We like
dude.
him.
He is a strange guy,
An
but
interesting dude. We talked about how
really
his
funny.
house had flooded in Queens, and he lived in Queens. And he's like, I was like, you should really be careful about mold. Like that's really dangerous. And he was like, yeah, I bet mold is dangerous.
I bet mold is dangerous. Yeah. Hi, Judah.
He's very confusing. Sometimes I
And
think
then
some
I
of his
asked
stuff
him
is a
about-
work. Like you know what I mean?
You can't tell with him.
You can't tell if he's putting one over on all of us sometimes.
I couldn't. When we were talking in the interview, I was like, so when you're a comedian, I worked with a comedian named Michael Ian Black. Like, do you get lots of like groupies coming after you? And he was like, no. And I was like, oh, I was just curious. I don't know. So he didn't want to go there with anything personal, which whatever.
Really?
I understand.
Well, he probably doesn't get a lot of groupies. Maybe there are some Judah groupies I just don't know about. I don't think that there are.
Hey, do you have to watch what you say and do?
Sure.
Like, because John McCain's your dad, it's like, it just seems like they're always picking, like, the press will always try to see what a brother or a daughter or son or something is doing so they can try to embarrass the politician or get them in some type of trouble. Do you watch what you say sometimes, especially with a show? It's kind of, you want to speak your mind.
I don't censor myself very much.
No?
I kind of think people that want to hate will, and I don't know, people can go fuck themselves. I'm not going to
see, I like that.
change.
But from the point of view of your father, has he ever given you a talking to? Like Megan, come on.
My
help me out
Playboy
here.
interview, he was
Really?
not happy
Oh,
with
what part?
it all. The whole thing. The
whole
fact that I
thing.
did it, the fact that I was talking about sex, he was humiliated.
Oh, Really?
That
man.
one is the one that I might, if I could take anything back, I might not do that again. And it was only 20 questions. I didn't pose or
How
anything.
bad were the questions?
We just talked about sex in the interview, but I thought if one does an interview with Playboy and they asked you about sex in this publication, you should sort of play ball. You know what I mean? So, but my father was not into it at all.
Did you call? He called you?
No, we had lunch in Phoenix, and it was the most awkward, one of the most awkward lunches of my life. And he was like, it was obviously a mistake, and you realize what's on the internet. My press secretary told me what's on the internet, and it was just really embarrassing.
What was the worst question from the interview, you think?
It was just the quote that got taken out of context. I mean, it wasn't taken out of context. I just said, I love sex and I love men. And it's not the greatest.
That's
it's
crazy.
not, but coming from a senator's daughter's mouth and a Republican.
You human being. Ew. Yeah.
I know. But all these people went crazy and they were tweeting me, you're such a slut and all this stuff. And I was like, boy. And then I was like, okay, do you hate sex? Do you want to say that publicly? Whatever. And people were I was working at MSNBC at the time, and people that I worked with were very like, oh, she was talking about sex in Playboy, and I was like, get a life.
Yeah, exactly.
If I were a guy, you would be probably high-fiving me, so
relax. Tell him to relax.
Wow, man.
He's a very nice man, your dad. It was so weird.
He really likes you.
Yeah, he was.
They were on the Tele-Night show together.
Yeah.
And I walked in, and Megan and I guess, talked the day before. I'm like, I was really happy to do it. I'm like, I'm doing the Tonight Show with your father. And then I'm there, and they're like, John McCain is asking for you. Like, and they came into my dressing room and got me. So me and my Jonathan went and talked to him. We had like a really... He's like, we didn't want to bother him. We're standing there trying to talk to him politely, but then we're like, okay, thank you. And he's like, all right, stay. Like, it was like he was like having a real conversation. It was odd.
Are you very political? Do you delve into politics? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Pay
was
attention?
pretty blown out after the last election, and just kind of over it, and over the partisanship, and it's a lot of politics.
Well, thank God it got better.
Oh, I know. And that's all anybody's been talking about this week. And I'm like, Congress is a bunch of children that can't get along, and it's
amazing.
I am
can't figure it out.
But I'm kind of controversial. People really hate me, and people really love me, and people love and hate my political beliefs. So I don't know.
Where do you put yourself as far as which way you lean? Or
you're quite conservative. Is that correct?
Yeah. But I'll surprise conservatives. Like do I love a good abortion?
Oh my God!
I don't even give a crap. Let them fly.
My God!
Let fly, people. I don't care about that stuff. I'm not very religious. I'm not like a religious conservative in that way. I'm very fiscally conservative. But there are a few ideas that I think conservatives would look at me like, oh, what are you, a liberal?
Gay marriage?
Like, I don't care about gay marriage. Some loosening of drug laws, I'm for some of that and stuff. But as far as the hard-hitting issues, immigration,
guns,
yes, I'm a huge Second Amendment guy.
Me too.
Fucking love a good gun. Yeah.
So do I, actually.
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Arizona.
You're from Arizona. Oh, it's the law there. You pretty much have to have a gun.
Lawlessness.
Yeah.
My little brother Jimmy at home, he carries his gun on him, and he's like, it's legal here, and never gonna know what happens. Yeah. I'm like, all right, Jimmy, whatever.
Well, I had to go through about $5,000 in legal fees and stuff, and about a year straight to be able to get a carry permit for New York City.
$5,000?
Yeah, it was, and that was pretty cheap. I got off cheap.
Yeah, you can't.
But that's supposed to be your right. I have to pay, and I had to give up information like everything, tax records. Like, why would exercising my Second Amendment right entail me having to give up my IRS tax records? It makes no sense whatsoever. It doesn't say you have the right to bear arms if you make a certain amount of money or if you have a job where you carry a lot of money. All that is bullshit. It's been infringed upon horrifically, especially in New York State.
It was to deter you, obviously.
Yeah.
But have some fishy shit with your taxes, and they'll say, like, you know what, I don't need a gun after all.
I got out of a ticket yesterday. But it works.
By flashing that and driving away.
By pointing the gun at the cop's face, and I drove off. Didn't even have to fire this time. I got pulled over for making a right turn on one of those streets where you're not allowed to turn until you go 50 blocks out of your way. Thank you. But I turned anyway, and there was a cop waiting right there, and they wave you over. And
how'd you get out of it?
I always do this. First thing I do is I take out the the New York City pistol permit. And I go, here, I just want to let you know so no one gets nervous here, you know. And yeah, and he looks at it like very surprised because they don't normally get them. And he's like, oh, and he turns it over. He goes, you have one of these on you right now? I was like, yeah. He goes, which one? I go, oh, the Walther. He goes, oh, okay, what do you do? That you need a gun. I was like, radio show personality. I was like, yeah. He goes, oh, Anthony, come here. Oh, Opie and Anthony. Oh. He goes, you know Keith Maresca? He was a lieutenant and stuff. I go, yeah, he's my security guy and you know one of my personal assistants. Oh, here you go. Take it easy.
Well, they're probably a big law enforcement. They're probably a big fan of the show. Right?
Yeah, we give kudos to the law enforcement. I think that it's a thankless, horrid job where you get into it. Perhaps just for the money, maybe with this noble idea that you're going to do something. And you can literally, by doing your job, be put in jail and lose your freedom or lose everything you have for a misunderstanding or just a lapse in judgment. You know, when you make a sandwich in a deli and you put the wrong kind of cheese on it and the guy comes back, you give him another sandwich. You fuck up as a cop, you can go to prison.
That's true, but you don't hit the cheese with a nightstick.
Well, if the cheese
caught on camera.
If the cheese is on the news every night robbing people, you hit the goddamn cheese, Jimmy.
No, I don't mean you're not supposed to. I mean, but that's what you get in trouble for. Believe me, I'm all for cheese baiting.
Can I ask you a question since you are?
Certainly.
Do you mind? Who do you think is going to be a good nominee in the next election cycle?
Well,
it's a hard one, right?
For the presidential or midterm? Presidential, it is. I honestly think Hillary is going to jump in. And that'll sew that up. I don't think Biden's got a chance in hell of being the
Thank God.
Vice president, gunning president. Exactly. As far as Republicans,
I have talked so much smack about Joe Biden in my life, and I met him in person. He goes, "I know you."
Oh, really?
I was like, "Oh shit."
Is he unpleasant?
No, but he was like, "I know you."
You should have said, "Good." At least I see some of your marbles are there.
He seems like a cool guy, though.
He doesn't.
Maybe. Not politically, but a guy you'd want to fucking have a beer with.
He seems annoying. Like if he was just a regular guy at a barbecue.
That's not the politician I want to have a beer with.
No, I don't mean to talk politics or anything. That's just to fucking hang with him.
Yeah. I don't want to hang with him.
He's a bit loose. What's your big issue with him?
His like gaffes all the time. I don't know. He doesn't inspire me.
It's surprising that he made it all the way up to VP.
Some of the things he has said, I think people forget how insane. Like I don't know. I just think
there's a difference between Democrats and Republicans when it comes to that. I mean, we saw years ago Dan Quayle just get eviscerated in the media for every fuck up he did. And boy, I'm not making excuses. He was a bumbling idiot and could not present himself in an intellectual manner. But Biden's made some of the worst gaffes I've ever heard, and the press just they just
that's because he's likable or he's the vice president.
I think it's because he's Democrat and mostly liberal media.
And honestly, one of the reasons he's liked is because it was when your dad ran. He was the comparison with Sarah Palin, and people had very harsh feelings about her, so they kind of like, oh, we like him. That was just by default, people of the VP candidates preferred him.
So is there anyone you think for the next round?
I know Christie is, looking, but I've lost respect for Christie as a Republican. I mean, after the hurricane, it was kind of nice of him to go, look, I'm putting aside our party differences to get help for my state. Obviously, but it came across as so much ass kissing on Obama that he lost a lot of credibility with me. So I don't know. He seems a lot more of a moderate than I thought he was. What? Who else? Like Rubio?
People keep telling me, I had this conversation at my dad's birthday party, actually, and everyone keeps telling me Jeb Bush. And
I don't think people are ready for another Bush.
That's what I said. I was like, think the Bush name is still tainted. Sorry, but it is. And he is quite conservative. I mean, I think he's much more conservative than people realize. So,
but after 8 years of Obama, people might be ready to make that flip-flop to more conservative because... I don't know. We are in a weird place right now.
We are in a weird place right now.
It's nobody's getting along. I think both sides are more. They're concentrating more on the next election than they are what's good for the country. They don't want to do anything that makes the other party look good. Like, oh, that's a great idea. I'll support it. I'll go past party lines here and support your idea. And then it's just used against you in the election. He actually, and Republicans supported this, so vote for him. So no one wants to do it because you don't want to become a campaign ad for the other guy during the midterms, so nothing gets done. I don't know how you feel about this, but I don't like that there's no term limits because it puts these guys in a professional politician position. They have no incentive to do anything for the country. There's more incentive to do stuff to keep their job. The second they're elected, they're thinking, what's going to keep me in for the next election? So it's very counterproductive for the country as a whole.
I agree with that. One time when I was in college, I went to visit my dad in the Senate, and senators, there's a Senate dining room where they eat lunch, and I remember seeing Strom Thurmond.
Oh, God.
And he couldn't even, he had a nurse or a handler with him because he was so old. And I was like, you're still allowed to be in office when you can't stand.
Yeah.
And I even remember
When you can't
thinking,
function properly.
Feed
I mean, he's
yourself.
an old
Right.
man. I mean,
he's not doing the job to the best of the ability that really needs to be
obviously.
had in that
But
circumstance.
I'll never forget that as
And
long as I live.
the public's kind of dumb, though, for continually electing people just on their names.
Yeah.
That's true, too.
They get so used to Strom Thurmond, instead of going, wow, he's a little old, they continue voting him in.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
robots.
The lack of term limits is a reflection of our stupidity. Like, we should be able to get people out.
Right.
when they're
If
not
there's
good
no
anymore.
term limits, it's up to the voters. So you should be able to vote for a new person that comes in. But you're right. Yeah, the people are just it's Coke. I'll vote for Coke because I see the name all over the place.
Totally.
Yeah.
Are you across
Are
the
you
board?
drinking carrot juice over there?
Well, it's beets,
You health
carrots,
nut?
spinach.
Well, not the health part.
Like,
I like a good
good vegetable
A good
juice.
beet
right
juice.
on.
All right, I'm trying to lose the baby weight there, Megan.
Can we talk about how good Jim looks? Look
Oh,
how much
please.
weight.
Well,
I
that's
could talk
why
about it all night.
he was doing this shit.
He does. He looks great. It's amazing.
When I saw you at the Comedy Cellar, I was like, you look totally different.
We've seen some older pictures of him. People post them. It's like, here's me with Jimmy from a couple of years ago. He was at a club. And it's like, wow, you see how much weight he lost.
It was terrible.
Still an asshole. But
Yeah, I haven't become a better person.
No.
I'm just part of the spot in the crowd.
I'm still an asshole.
Yeah. I'm still human garbage, but I'm a medium. But yeah, it's really
Wow.
Let me see.
The one with the yellow flowers. I was at that photo shoot.
Oh, that was 2003.
Holy
or 4.
fuck, that's 10 years ago already.
Oh, that's me.
You just had it on the other
heavier.
page.
I mean, don't
Whatever.
Oh, the other page.
that one's
Who's that?
That's Paula Paddington.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
She was from Mission Impossible.
She's what's his name? Robin Thicke's wife.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
That's
that
an
one.
older
That one.
That's
Wow.
Why would you take a picture in your
It
underwear
was
like
a
that?
goof. I did it on
It was
purpose
for
to be
a
awful.
CD.
Yeah, they want me to do a photo shoot.
That's going to be the new background on my phone. Not right there.
I was dating a girl in 2003, and whenever they would ask for press pictures, I would send that one. And there was a double-page centerfold in a
No.
magazine, and then her brother had left it out and goes, "That's who you're dating. That's the guy you're dating."
Isn't that great?
Embarrassing.
Did she?
She didn't care for that
she
at
didn't
all.
care?
Yeah, we stopped seeing each other soon after.
Is that the one you were dating when we were doing the Jay Leno show?
Oh no! This is now. It's 10 years ago.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
We did that for I guess 8 months together, 6 months together.
Yeah, it was really. We had how we know each other is the most random way anybody knows each other. We did this panel on the Jay Leno show with Stephen Baldwin,
right.
Ariana Huffington, me and Jim,
I remember that.
and Diablo Cody. And I just remember I was like, it's like the apocalypse came. And
That's
there's
a
lot of
weird.
people.
You and I
collection
became
of people.
regulars though, and I did it once with the Kardashians. It was really
I remember that.
But we
Yeah.
did it a few times together.
But you were always cool. That's how we became friends, just like talking backstage. But there was Stephen Baldwin was an interesting dude.
He's an
to
odd
work
guy.
with.
Yeah, he is a weird dude.
We've had our
man.
run-ins with
He's an
him.
interesting man.
How about Ariana Huffington? Did
He's
you
a
not like her?
weirdo.
No, I thought she was really nice.
As a person, right?
She was really nice. She's always been really nice to me.
Oh, okay. I thought she had given it's always weird if somebody writes stuff about you or the family or the whatever.
No, the Huffington Post has actually been really cool to me.
Oh, they have been? Okay.
Yeah, that's not I don't have a problem with Huffington Post.
You know what's odd about you look at the media and the way they treat people based on party lines. Your father gets more respect. They're not as willing to really jump on him about policies they don't agree with, and the press isn't as willing to rip him apart. I've seen them do it, but they're not as willing to rip him apart as they would some other politicians. He's very well respected.
You think?
Yeah.
Because he comes across as a real guy.
Yeah,
which you don't get a lot of that from those guys down there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I hear people and I'm just like brutal, just brutal. You know?
Really?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people really hate my dad.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we know
There
that,
you
of
go.
course, yes.
But I think to be a politician in America is to be controversial. I don't think there's anyone, even Obama's not beloved anymore. You know,
No.
President Obama.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I didn't vote for him, and I don't believe in him. But I don't think he's the Antichrist like some people do. But I'm not a fan of him. I don't like his leadership as a president. I mean, if you look at everything with Syria, I think it's a very classic
lack thereof.
example.
Yeah.
Just incapability of making a decision and making a move. Just make a move. You're the fucking president.
Right.
Anyway, sorry, I don't.
Yeah.
You can swear on the
No,
show.
you can, sure.
Just
But
make
yeah,
an
yeah.
executive decision and stop having to go back to Congress and poll it and see what's popular, what's not popular. Being president's not always going to be popular.
His entire presidency, and even you could tell during the campaign, you could tell, even though there's so much bullshit during a campaign, you can kind of feel out what a guy is as a person. Very thought out, you could say, but it's just this, like, not willing to commit.
Yeah.
Just going in, having a fun rah-rah speech and stuff, but not really ever committing to anything. And when you have to act quickly, that's why I don't think he had as much to do with that Osama bin Laden raid than everybody pumped him up to, because he's only proven that he's very indecisive when it comes to important issues that need to be done very quickly. I think they approached him. I think he said, yes, let's do this. And then the planning and everything else was off of his shoulders.
And I think it comes to a great shock to him when people don't like him. I think he's very sensitive.
Very arrogant when it comes to that. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. What?
I'm the greatest
Look what I
thing in the
did.
history of history. You don't like me?
What I did.
I just think it's weird.
Who's like one or two of your presidents that you would call your favorites and
My
did a
favorite
great job?
presidents?
Yeah. Who
Well,
like do you
Lincoln.
think? Who do you oh, President Budinsky.
There you go. I mean, like all
No,
good-
like did you like Reagan?
Oh,
Reagan
yeah.
always gets.
My thing with Ronald Reagan too is if you really study Reagan and history, you can't call yourself. People like Ted Cruz that call themselves a Reagan Republican.
Yeah.
Cracks me up. I'm like, he was a person who went across party lines with Tip O'Neill, really tried to make this country a better place, really was into working with the other side. And people now, if you even work on the other side a little bit, you are a heretic and you should go fuck yourself and you shouldn't be in politics anymore because you don't know how you really feel. I mean, how dare you call yourself a Reagan Republican, some of these people?
Yeah.
How dare you? It's a disgrace to Ronald Reagan's legacy.
Do you ever look at what happened? Like, because I thought when McCain lost, he was very graceful in his speech. I thought his
Thank
speech was
you.
better than Obama's acceptance speech. I found his to be more moving, and as somebody who would have been the first daughter, I mean, that's a pretty.
You got to be bummed out.
Yeah, like what is that like?
No,
when-
I'm not bummed out.
That'd be
That part
kind
of
of a
it.
cool thing to go through, though.
I don't think it'd be a cool thing.
No?
I'm actually
You're kind of relieved?
I think my father would have been a great leader, and I think this country would be in a much better place if he were president. But being a first daughter sounds like it blows, and I'm crazy. I'm rebellious.
That's why it would have been awesome.
For us,
I
it
would have
would've
been
been fun.
Yes, that's what I
for
mean.
you two, for you assholes. It would have been great.
We would have loved to watch it.
Especially on the heels of those Bush girls. They were a little wild in their
Do you really
It's
think
like-
they were wild
in their
though?
youth.
Nah.
Not after they got a little older, but that friggin' fake IDs and out partying and drinking.
Like everybody hasn't done
I know,
that.
but when you're in the White House, you gotta watch what you're doing.
Megan would be the one throwing the party when Daddy was out of town.
Is that it, really?
Oh, yeah.
That
A
would
risky,
be
Oh, yeah.
risky
but
business
Yes,
party
Mom
at the
and Dad
house?
are out of town. We're throwing a party in this bitch.
Oh, man.
I would not have done that. I don't.
No?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it's just
Maybe?
more
A little bit?
people scrutinize things now.
Beer pong
you
in the
know?
Lincoln bedroom?
right.
I would rule.
And I would invite all of you, the three
Yeah.
of you.
Oh, that'd be great. Pulling up to the gate. Yeah, we're here for the party.
Jim Norton and I are just going to play some beer pong.
Beer pong in
See
the
you later.
Lincoln bedroom.
I want to watch this show of yours. We haven't really talked about it, Raising McCain.
Thank you.
It's on Saturdays at 10 on Pivot TV. I don't know
You can
where.
also get it on iTunes.
Okay,
Pivot's
good.
a brand new network that just launched, and
Okay.
it's on. You can, if you go to pivot.tv, you can see where you get it. But
It's not. It's
also
one of
on
those things
iTunes.
like that's going to wind up in a bunch of. Some of them are not in all of it, but people forget that HBO, Comedy Central,
but
they
you-
all took a while to get into all their cable.
But
systems.
you
I knew
also
what I
just
was
go to
getting into.
iTunes.
Right.
Fuck it.
Yeah, and I knew what I was getting into when I was going with a new network. But I don't know. I really believe in them, and they give me such creative freedom. I'm an executive producer on my show, and I just had a lot of fun this summer. When I saw you, Jim, you're having so much fun, and I think having fun and enjoying the people you work with is the key to happiness in this life, other than finding somebody, finding a partner.
How long after you air it does it appear on iTunes?
It airs just like 2 or 3 days after.
Oh, okay. So
see, good.
the network's cool with that too. What do they look at? Like, is branding for them the fact?
Yeah, the more people seeing it, the better.
Yeah, they'll find
You're
you.
You're looking at my episode right now, Sam.
That's right.
Is he not allowed to talk on this show?
Oh, Sam talks.
Oh, he talks
Talks
way
a
too
lot.
much, man.
Yeah. Ask the listeners.
Oh my God.
He talks way too much.
Yeah.
See, the compliments
It was actually a nice
Walking
break.
in and out like you're,
I wear
He
a lot of
actually
hats
works
around
on this
here.
show. Yeah.
He pretty much runs the entire show at this
See,
point.
he bamboozled you by doing an interview with you first,
Right.
Because you assumed he was a radio show host. he's a scrub for the Opie and Anthony show that happens to go on air every so often.
You throw him scraps.
Yes, exactly.
I was waiting for
Throw him.
earlier.
I guess I'm the scrap.
No, you know what? But think about it. You were in the long line of guests for the Sam Roberts after show. Like, let me think.
Well, the
A
Loverboy.
Loverboy.
He had the Loverboy dude.
Loverboy.
I interviewed William
band
H. Macy.
Loverboy?
I interviewed a lot of very famous,
Who's
talented.
Loverboy?
Loverboy's
Oh, the band
that
Loverboy?
sang Working
Everybody's
for the Weekend.
working for the weekend.
How is that?
I got him to sing Working for the Weekend. So-
What else are they going to do?
Well, they didn't want to. So, in
What
all
did you
fairness to
guys talk
Sam,
about?
Well, we talked about the fact that a prank caller that sounded much like Anthony Cumia was making fun of his red leather pants.
You wear red leather pants?
No, I was making fun of the guy. I was wearing red leather pants from Loverboy.
see,
I was driving home
we sabotage.
I
we
was bored.
sabotage his show.
constantly.
Which is what they're
Constantly.
doing right now, actually, by making you believe that it's not a real show.
Right.
Oh,
It's a real show.
Thank you, man.
I'm a real
cute.
guest, and it was
What,
a real show.
what about this
Right.
episode that's up on the website?
This was
Is
the
this-
one that aired last week that was about has technology killed romance and dating.
Oh.
And it was this episode was particularly awkward because they set me and my producers up on a group date, and it was horrible.
Group date.
It was horrible. I know. I mean, people were very nice, but I think dating in general is uncomfortable, let alone when there are cameras around.
boy.
That was the bookend. But that one was a fun
What
one.
was the conclusion that it had? Because I have mixed feelings. Like, it ruins monogamous relationships for people in my age group because we're such creeps that we forget
Do chicks like tweet you or any of you in here like tweet the Opie and Anthony show and be like, I want to go out with Anthony?
Oh no!
Look at us. Look at
No.
us.
Not
Of course
that.
they do.
We no.
Just drowning in pussy on the Opie and Anthony show.
It is odd though because people get in touch with you and tweet you comments and things that like they normally wouldn't have any way of saying anything to you in the old days. You know, so that's kind of weird. You don't need the face to face. You could get rid of the preliminary bullshit now online through text, so you could be a little more bold. Thing when you used to have to go to a bar or a club, where the fuck you met people back then, you'd have to put your game face on and approach somebody. It was frightening. Now all that preliminary stuff, you're just like, yeah, you want to fuck, and you get a no and you walk away. It's like
You get to see their pussies before you meet them.
Kind of true.
oh
If you
god, oh my
What's
god.
going to be on Saturday's show? Screw the show that already aired. Let's promote the new one.
The one coming up is about coming out in America and how millennials come out earlier and what happens if you support gay marriage as a young person but your family doesn't.
Sam, it's a good show for you.
I'm not a homosexual.
Aren't you married?
Yes, to a female.
Okay.
Oh man.
Well done.
You got to add that now.
Craig.
Well done.
Thank you.
You got to kind of add
You're
that now.
young to be married, though. You're only 30, right?
Yeah, I'm 30.
Oh.
That's young to get married.
Well, I was-
You think?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of tail out there, and I don't understand
I don't think
people.
people.
that get
I don't think
married.
people. I don't think people realize how young 30 is. That's right, isn't it?
30 is young.
30's pretty young these days.
I'm almost 29. I
See?
don't feel.
Oh.
Is anyone in this room married other than Sam? You're married?
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been married?
almost 5.
Well done.
2 kids.
Right on. Congratulations.
That's why this face. Meaning tired.
well, if
I
you're-
got a 3-year-old and an almost 1-year-old.
Oh, no wonder you're tired.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Do you talk about it on the air a lot?
a little bit. Yeah,
A little. Okay.
when it matters.
Well, congratulations to both of you.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Do you want to be married?
I don't think so.
Oh man.
Really?
No.
Why?
It seems like jail. I don't know. It doesn't
Bravo.
seem like the best. I don't know, man. One dude forever is a tall order. I don't know. It kind of scares me.
I always wanted to. I got married late.
Wives?
Yeah, I thought
That's what it sounded like.
No,
It's like
I
I've always wanted to.
I always wanted to. I just was with the wrong people, so I wasn't stupid enough to just do it.
How old were you when you got married?
40 fluff. In my
Okay.
40s.
40 fluff.
So you got to live a
Yeah.
little.
Oh, yeah.
What
No
about
regrets.
you, Jim?
See, you make it sound like,
I'm 45.
I love how she makes it sound like your life's over.
yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
you lived. It's good you cashed it in
That's
your
how it feels
40s.
to people who are married, though. That's how it
Yeah,
feels to
It
me.
actually could
Definitely.
be pretty cool.
You can find somebody
I like
you enjoy
it.
their company.
I have
Terrific.
friends that really love being married and like
But
it, but
it-
I have the attention span of a hamster.
Right.
And I don't know. It seems like really intense.
But in all fairness to your comment, like there's a lot of people that are not happy being
yeah.
married. I see it all the time. Yes.
Yeah.
I've never been close. I've never lived with a woman. I've never. I've 2.5 years is my longest one, and I've been single for over
2.5
2
years.
My longest relationship. Wow. I'm terrible. I'm a shit boyfriend.
Because you're on the road all the time?
Part of it, yeah, and the fact that
The old dirt road.
the fact that I just can't stop
2.5
texting
years.
certain photos. Why don't I just cut it out already? You've seen one, you've seen them all. How many pictures do I need with my feet in the background?
I do it. I do an extra 2.5 when I know it's over. I stay in too long. That was my problem. I stayed in these relationships way too fucking long.
Oh boy, I'm the king of that.
Just
I used to stay in I stayed in a marriage for 9 fucking years. When it was over, like the next day, I was just like,
God.
oh well.
He's not exaggerating.
I'll be out
the
of
next
this.
day, he realized he made a mistake.
Are
and
you
I'm like-
serious?
And then
Yeah.
9 years later,
You
he did
got
so.
married and the next day you realize you made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he
Seriously?
and then 9 years
That's
later, he did
crazy.
something
And
about it.
and 9 years later, I decided
finally
to
did something
get
about
out of it.
But then
But I was doing radio. Like I was just getting into radio, so it was a good distraction. I was just like, well,
Did you panic the next day?
yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anxiety.
But you had nothing to lose by getting a divorce. What could they have taken from you back
Yeah, once
then?
it was over, it was over.
Back then, I should have.
Yeah.
No, I paid.
She would have got your
paid
jet
through the
ski, I
nose.
think. That's about it.
How old were you when you got married?
30.
30.
30.
No offense, Sam. I'm sure you'll be
But
very
Ann
happy.
talks.
I'm sorry.
But
That's
Ann-
okay.
I don't mean to judge. I just don't. I especially don't understand why men would get married.
Ah, you're right.
Well, in my case, I was with my wife from when I was like 22.
she's very hot.
Yeah, I'm not going to do any better
Okay.
Yeah.
than her.
Right on.
She,
You know what I mean? Like,
she
what kinda-
certainly could.
And if you really love her, like
Yeah.
go forth and conquer. I
Yeah.
just.
That sounds
I
like
don't
a
know.
great marriage. I'm not going to do any better. so
definitely
fine. All right. Might
I
as
love
well
her,
do
so-
this.
It turned me
There's
off
some
to marriage.
people that are like monogamous and like it. I don't know. I just think it seems outdated.
Yeah.
I mean, one person for like 50 years. I don't know.
We're living longer than we used to. Don't forget, back in Roman times, people lived to be 35 or whatever. All right.
Who wants to be sitting there while your fucking wife is like, Morty, I have the Swiffer. and he's trying to sleep and she's yelling at him. Morty, it's some type of a mopping device. Oh, yeah, it's like a time machine. You crazy old broad.
These commercials have taken the romance out of it.
Yeah. I would never get married again. I talk about marriage like Quint talks about that shark attack on the Indianapolis. I'll never put on a life jacket again. Nope, I'll never put on a wedding ring again. She went to the divorce lawyer. Her eyes rolled back white. Lifeless eyes like a doll's eyes.
The idea of getting married and the next day being like, "Oh shit, I fucked up," sounds insane.
It was terrible. But thank God we
sorry.
didn't have any kids.
Yeah.
We had no real assets.
Again, you only fucked up a decade of your life.
And it was a decade of my life. Now the only
who
responsibility I
hasn't?
have is a kitten. And my girl turns 19 on the 11th.
Yeah. And they've been dating for 10 years.
I don't know if you're talking about your daughter or your girlfriend.
I don't have a daughter.
Okay.
She's like this.
Me? Oh, there's so no
Yeah.
judgment. Oh my God. Don't worry.
Why bother?
Listen, smoke if you got him. Like if you can
Smoke if you got him.
If you can get a college student, I guess go for it. Whatever.
That's what I like.
Not here to judge.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get out of here.
You look bored on your phone.
Oh, no, not at all. I like this a lot.
Okay.
I hope I didn't give that
Are you
impression.
tweeting?
Yeah, I'm reading tweets. They like you.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
You're fun.
Thanks,
You're
everybody.
fun.
Thanks for having me on.
Let's plug the
I
show
didn't know much
properly.
about you. I thought you. I was thinking wrongly that you were going to be a little stuffy.
Really?
Stuffy.
Yeah, I thought she was going to be a little like,
man.
like a little, watch what you say around her, maybe. I like that.
Nah, I
You're one of the guys.
I think I said drowning in pussy on this
Yes,
show. So
you
I think we're
did.
fine.
I'm also really happy to know that you listen to my interviews. That's cool.
It was probably one of the days I was staying in the city and not driving
it's on
home.
YouTube.
Well, I'm not going to search out your goddamn interviews.
Holy fuck! If the
I'll
radio
listen
happens
on
to
the
be
way
on, maybe I'll
home,
listen.
you know.
Right?
Do you just hate
Winds
him?
isn't doing a fucking
Yes.
weather forecast.
I wouldn't listen to your interview if I was the guy you were talking to.
Oh, she does like you, Sam.
I do like him.
Yeah.
He was his interview. I'm telling you, got a little. I've been interviewed thousands
Yeah.
of times. He's a good interviewer.
Wow.
And like I said, but you will get stronger because you could have gotten a lot more. Like I said,
man.
I would have dished a lot more, but you blew it, Sam, and now it's gone.
Sam.
Yeah, but I'm awesome and have potential to get even better.
But you've been at it for 10 years already. Let's be honest. You're
I'm young,
You're hitting
though.
the ceiling.
I'm very young.
Yeah, you're young,
We're
but
just talking
that
about
voice ain't changing, my friend.
It's not about the voice.
And, you know, well, apparently
his
it is.
voice.
Thank
Over
you,
at
Megan.
Entertainment Weekly. I think you're smitten with this fucking
Yeah, why
whatever
don't
he
you,
is.
See? I like your. I mean, I guess you have to have a nice voice to be in radio.
That's
but-
right, you do.
Apparently, but not good
Yeah.
enough for Entertainment Weekly.
Entertainment Weekly told him he couldn't have
Passed
the
on
job because
of his
they
voice.
like him. They said they like him. They like what he talks about.
She's laughing at you. It's not
sorry.
with you.
No, it's okay.
They said your voice sucks.
They literally
Yes.
said that my demo was better than anybody else, but they could not get over the sound of my voice.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm still here.
Yep.
Enjoying.
They could have put
the
some
Opie and Anthony
processing
show.
on your mic. They could have kind of
They
fixed
could have just
that.
gotten over it.
Whatever.
Oh, they don't
can't
have
change that
processing
either. That's
for
not
that.
something you can change.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's the
Yeah,
least
Sam
constructive advice.
Falcone.
Yes. You look at Denny. That's your future.
No, it's not.
Oh God.
Weak voiced
No, it's
idiot.
not.
I'd hang myself now if that was my future.
I can't believe you thought she'd be stuffy or whatever, man.
I didn't know.
I didn't think that
I didn't
at all.
know. I just
It's
assume most people that are around.
Republican senators'
No, man.
daughters. don't
Right.
worry.
Exactly. You
I like
think
that
you're
you
gonna.
tell
Maybe
like
I
it
should
is.
be stuffier. Maybe
Maybe.
I'm in this conflict right now that I'm like, maybe I should have been very proper and.
Although
No.
daughters
Yuck.
of more conservative people are usually pretty goddamn wild. I remember
No.
this religious. No, there was this religious family that lived around the neighborhood, and they had like three,
But is that like a
four
preacher's
daughters.
daughter thing? 'Cause
No,
that's
he was a
different.
doctor, but they were staunch, and oh boy, those girls! Wow,
Did you date one of them?
two of them. My brother
Two?
dated one.
Well done.
Yeah, it was, and then one of my friends dated the fourth one.
It's because repression breeds obsession. 'Cause if you're repressed your whole life, you're just going to want to go buck
Ran through
wild.
that family like locust.
You were just drowning in pussy.
Oh, sure.
That is going to be my mother's favorite thing from this
Oh
morning.
yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Does she listen to all your interviews?
She listens to a lot of them, and I kind of,
I apologize.
talk like a trucker. I got to get
Yeah.
over. That's the thing with this
Sorry.
show too. Everyone's like, she has the filthiest mouth, and I was like, I know, maybe I should button it up and
Yeah.
whatever.
No, it's good. It's
is
good
good.
because you don't want to be typical. Like you don't want to you want to be yourself. You don't want to be a typical like this is what the Republican daughters said their shirts because then no one listens. But people listen when you sound different and like yourself.
Just be
Then people
yourself. Yeah, of course.
It's interesting.
Thanks.
Much more
Thanks,
interesting.
Jim.
I saw that Chelsea Clinton on what the hell was she on? Might have been Daily Show, but wow, she doesn't look like she curses at all.
No, she's more of a she seems more like a kind of a goody.
She's got
seems
it.
I
nice,
like
but
Chelsea
yeah.
Clinton,
Yeah?
but I think she's obviously the other end of the spectrum.
Oh yeah,
Very proper and
Very
prim.
proper, very. I part of me is like envious of that. I'm like, oh, I should be such a proper lady. But instead, I'm going on the Opie and Anthony show saying pussy.
No, but don't forget, her dad also had a weird. It's almost like she went the opposite direction because of the scandal that happened. Maybe all of a sudden she went.
Yeah, her
prim
dad
and
was
proper.
actually president. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
but I mean, he had look at the scandal he had was so not prim and proper at all.
Yeah.
Like, and then she goes in this other direction, and your father gets a tremendous amount.
Do you
of
interview a
respect.
lot of politicians on this show?
They won't come on.
They won't
We'd
really
love to.
come on.
We've had.
I think they're under the impression that we're just gonna.
Well, let's give her the list.
Fuck around.
We've had Rumsfeld, and Louis C.K. blew that one.
Yeah, Louis did ruin
By
it.
asking-
Why did Louis C.K.
Well,
blow-
he wanted to know if he was a lizard, and he wouldn't get off that.
He just kept asking him if he was.
Which, by the way, I thought
an
was
alien
awesome.
lizard.
I thought it was
What did
hilarious.
Donald Rumsfeld say?
He just kept denying he was a lizard.
He
and
never
Louis-
denied it.
Right. He refused to
Oh,
answer
I-
the question.
Refused to answer.
You know what? That's right.
Which only
You're
got
right.
Louis
You're right.
going even more.
Yeah,
so
Louis
you're
would
not
not let up on
denying that
Was
you
he
might be a
co-hosting the
lizard.
show, or was he on the show?
Louis used to do our show a lot.
Yeah, he was here. He
Louis
was
C.K.
here.
used to do your show a lot.
Oh yeah.
I would say
Right
on a regular
on.
basis anyway, right? Yeah. Yeah. he's a
and
little
then they
busy
go
these
famous,
days.
and then what happens?
They go
He
famous,
still
and
comes
then
on though.
Yeah,
he'll be back.
Yeah.
you
He
know,
put us
who,
on a show, which was nice.
and then
Gave
who
us
we
a little
don't see,
something.
who we don't see around as much anymore either. Amy Schumer.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
Judd
She used to do
Apatow
our
movie.
show.
Oh, I love Amy Schumer.
Amy
Yeah,
Schumer
love
show.
her
Who
too.
doesn't? She's
So
America's
funny.
sweetheart.
We love
and
her.
now
She's
we won't
filthy.
see her.
She's a pig.
Talk about
Oh, yeah,
filthy.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I heard her on Howard Stern, and
She's
I
a
was
dirty
like,
birdie.
I was like, Lord, you're making me blush, and I'm
Yeah.
not. That ain't easy to do.
Yeah, she's a dirtbag.
You ever see her tell her?
She's a
ask her-
I'm gonna say that with.
She's a dirtbag.
Oh yeah, she is. Trust me, she's
No, that
one
was
of my
a-
best friends. She's
that was a
completely.
compliment.
I love Amy.
Ask her to tell you the
Filthy.
cab story where she had a
That's the one I
cab
was
driver
thinking of.
diddle
That
her.
she like slept with her cab driver. or
Cab driver
something?
slept with. That would even be reasonable. She had the cab driver diddle her while they were driving.
Oh my
Uptown.
god.
Uptown, yeah.
Uptown.
Oh,
What
Lord.
other politicians? I'm trying to think. That might be it.
Jesse the Body Ventura.
Oh, Jesse the Body Ventura used to come on our show.
He got in a fight with you.
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was he was like trying to threaten you or something?
No. It was just an unpleasant argument that got blown out of proportion. He was just being an ass, and no, I didn't feel physically threatened until the very end when he walked out. I thought he was going to throw his water bottle at me.
My favorite thing is he was wearing a fanny pack in the video I saw.
That's right.
He
Like, he was
was.
sitting down. I was like, "What the hell? Why is he wearing a fanny pack?"
And when Jimmy said, "You do get out of here with your riffraff hairdo," oh, that was perfect.
Yeah, he got none too pleased.
He got hammered by intelligence that day, and he got so frustrated. Then he wanted to be an alpha male about it.
Never fight with
He
a
got his
comedian,
ass kicked.
ever.
But it wasn't about that. Just talking about 9/11 and simple fucking questions to him. He had no real answer, and he
He's
was
like
getting.
a truther, right?
Yeah.
Why was the fire department told to stand down?
He just wanted us to accept what
That's
he.
a really good impression.
Oh, thank you.
He just wanted us to accept what he was saying that day, and we just kept challenging him with more and more questions. And his brain, we saw it just blew up. He was.
He's a maniac.
He was
He's a
in way
crazy
over his
person.
head, and then he got frustrated and started that alpha male
He's a
shit. And then
baby,
Jimmy didn't, back down, which I fucking love.
But I
realize he was
never
the
would have
governor.
spoken that way to him. I would have debated him, but I never would have been that rude to him if he hadn't been an asshole to me first. But I would never would have just insulted him on his way out. Because I respect it.
He got
Like,
so frustrated, he just went for what did he say? What was the famous
it was
line?
as he was walking out. He called me an asshole, so I called him an asshole. It just went like back and forth like that. And then when he was walking out, he was like, because implying that I wasn't in the military, he patted me on the back really hard. He goes,
Thank
"Thanks
you.
for your service."
Oh my god.
Which I didn't care about, but it was like for me to.
It was
for
a
me
hard
to match
pat.
that. But but he wasn't being menacing. He was just being a dick. But I would have had to stand up and pat him, and I'm like, I'm not going to touch him. So that's why I said something nasty.
Should have popped him
What's
right in
the
the face.
worst interview you guys ever did?
Paris Hilton.
This one.
Paris
Oh,
Hilton.
Jesus.
Paris.
Paris
Paris
Hilton was
Hilton came
terrible.
on this show.
She was horrendous.
She was,
Why?
she was promoting
She needed us
what,
that day,
her dumb
too.
album.
Her reality,
No, her reality show.
A reality show, which we were
This is
more.
like back in the day, right?
It was
Not
the one
that long
after
ago.
her successful reality
the
show.
recentish
Just
one.
about 2 years ago.
the one that was a complete failure.
got canceled.
Why
Yeah.
was it so bad? Was he?
Well, there was something in the news we asked her about, and she got all. She wouldn't answer
Well,
the
she had
question.
the one with Lionel Richie's daughter there.
Nicole.
Nicole
That was a great
Richie.
show. I
She had
actually enjoyed
and
that.
and it
Stupid
worked.
Good Life.
And then they didn't. They broke up as friends, and then she tried to come up with another reality show where it was kind of just her, and it was just terrible. And she
I can
came on,
imagine.
and she wouldn't talk about anything. It's like, yeah, okay. No, I don't want to talk
She
about
thinks she's
that.
God's gift.
You have to watch the
It was-
show.
It was
Yeah,
horrible.
so what happened?
And she kept
What-
looking at her publicist to
the
save
show?
her and stuff, and we weren't even asking crazy questions.
She stunk.
We
How long was
hated
it?
her.
15 minutes, maybe.
Tops.
Yeah.
We pretty much
man.
kicked her out.
She was
and she
terrible.
canceled the rest of her interviews after that.
Yeah, she's a
She went
fucking.
home.
Did?
She
Yeah.
went home like a little baby.
But again, her show got
Yeah.
canceled, and nobody gives
And
a shit
Megan,
about her.
We didn't go all in. We were actually pretty nice
We
to
were
her.
nice,
We
yeah.
got a little frustrated, but it wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah, and I wasn't vicious to her because she wasn't being mean. She was just being herself, which is just sucky and valueless.
She's a dullard. She has nothing of substance to say.
What's crazy to me? She's like 32 or 33.
Yeah.
She's not a kid anymore.
No.
She introduced the world to Kim Kardashian, and she's never gotten over that because
Yeah.
Kim took all her fame, and that's why she was trying to come back with that show.
It was a
And
bomb.
It was horrible.
But a reality show, and then in the interviews, she's not forthcoming at all. Like you, you almost were the first daughter of the country, and yet you talk more openly about yourself than this fucking fake spoiled brat.
She's
Yeah.
a hell of a lot more famous than me. I don't
But
know.
you know what I'm saying though? But
who
like,
cares?
I think
She
you
stinks.
can't.
She
be
was
in
terrible.
You can't be in this industry if you can't like play ball a little bit. You got to give it up for some
or just be
interviews,
open
whatever.
and fun. Like we didn't like, care about talking about sex or any of that. She was just a shit interview, and she was just snotty, and she didn't want to be there. It was like, well, then go home, dummy. Your reality show's awful. I didn't say that to her. But
do you have a second worst?
Second worst interview. I didn't love. He was not one of the worst. Ludacris, I didn't like because he was very defensive and because he thought we were trying to throw him under the bus talking about, but we weren't. We were just trying to. It's a 25-minute interview, so we were asking him a lot of questions. But he.
What about Terrell Owens?
Terrell Owens was boring.
He kept
he was boring.
correcting us because he wanted to be called Terrell.
Terrell.
Screech was terrible.
Screech was
You had Screech on?
Yeah.
well. Right. I mean, if you want the worst interview ever, it was Balloon Guy. We all know
What's
that.
Balloon Guy?
He came in and made balloon animals for us.
And you interviewed him about making balloons. Did you book that, Sam?
I did not.
Sam was in diapers when we did that. That's how old we are.
Was it like the beginning of the show?
It has to be. It could be 14 years ago.
Oh my God!
Something like that.
NEW?
Yeah, I forgot why he was on some show. I forgot what a reality show, and he came in, and also we're like, "Oh my God!" All he could do was make balloon animals on the radio. He was. All you heard through the whole interview was that, right?
Oh God, that's right.
I wish I was there.
And they weren't even good balloon animals, really.
But remember, all we heard was the noise. That's it. That was our interview.
We're like, oh, it's a dog. It's terrible radio.
For everybody that can't see it.
Yeah.
It's a snake.
Oh, look. Okay. And then play by play. All right. He's blowing up one of those long balloons and he's tying it off. Right now. Yeah. And then again.
That was
terrible.
The worst interview ever.
Yep.
Oh, man.
That was a bad one.
But
as far as big celebrities, I'm trying to think. Most of them are pretty good. Terrell Owens sucked.
He wasn't great at all. Floyd Mayweather was not great. He was just
all right.
tired with his sunglasses on. It was like, come on, man.
He was all right though.
Yeah, he wasn't terrible.
The listeners would help us out, I'm sure.
There's been a few
ones we probably forgot about.
I'm looking down trying to see if they know.
Guys who are like, I'll tell you the most uncomfortable one of them was George Wendt. We had him in.
I don't even know who that is.
And he was on Cheers. That guy Norman Cheers.
Okay.
It was me and Jimmy that day.
I forgot about George.
Yeah, I wasn't in.
He wrote a book.
What a great interview that was.
He wrote a book
about beer.
About beer. He wrote a book about his favorite beers.
Right on.
So I was asking him alcohol questions. It's like, you have books about it.
No, but Jim started asking him questions about like whether or not he questions if he's an alcoholic or not. I tried to get like really deep with him, and he's just Norm from Cheers and wanted to write a fun book.
But I didn't want to hear about that shit. I didn't care why he likes lager. It's boring.
No, he wasn't. The problem was he wasn't being Norm. He was a bummer, and I told him he was a bummer.
Because he was all red-faced, and he came across like he was indeed an alcoholic.
Yes.
Struggling with this issue
So
that Jim was putting in his face.
I love a train wreck interview. There's very few things I love more than a fucking just off the rails train wreck. People going crazy. It's why I love Anthony Weiner so much. It's just he would just.
Oh God,
I loved it.
When he started just losing his mind
in the deli with that guy, and then when he was running through McDonald's, getting away from his porn star sexting lady. I'm like, anybody that thinks entertainment is better than politics is not watching this shit on the internet right now.
And we love that he didn't back out.
Oh, me too.
Because most of the time those guys go, oh, fuck, I got to back the fuck out. But he was still in there, which I loved.
As more time went on, he realized his chances were slimmer and slimmer of actually being, and he got more and more angry.
You see him on Lawrence O'Donnell when that freak out interview?
Oh, yeah, that was great.
I was like, what in that? My favorite thing is they were like, they're screaming at each other, and they're like, and we're going to a commercial break, and we'll be right back. And then they came back from the commercial and screamed again. I'm like, somebody's screaming in my face like that. I'd be like, I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not going to sit through the commercial break.
Both of them just love hearing themselves talk.
Oh, hell yeah.
But to all the Americans who say you want a guy who represents the average, how come we don't have power? You had a chance. You're never going to get a man that represents men better than him.
Anthony Weiner?
No, man, he blew his second chance, though. That was our whole point.
It is not the sexting. It is not the sex.
Thank you.
I am not judgmental on things like that. People have issues, whatever. It is the lying. That's what I can
But for the second time.
That's what I mean.
We all allowed him a second chance.
But what guy wouldn't? Think about it. What guy wouldn't? First of all, it's none of our business. Well, I don't even like Weiner that much.
He shouldn't have come back as soon as he did if he knew all that shit was still out there.
But it's none of our business.
Because at that point, he knew how Twitter and everything else worked. They knew it was a matter of time before they caught on to what he was doing.
But we shouldn't
continue to do.
But it shouldn't be an issue.
Not about the sex thing, but it shows like a lack of commitment to something. Like it shows poor judgment. It shows like forget about the sex part. Take the sex part out of it. What he did though is he's got a commitment to his wife. He blew that. He lied. That it shows it's a test of character. Like
sex and food are the same addiction. Chris Christie obviously is a compulsive overeater.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, okay, he doesn't cheat on his wife, but he is putting himself in danger of a heart attack.
Right.
So, I mean, every person has this type of shit, and we just kind of stand back and watch them get crucified. It's not like he was having sex with a kid, or like Spitzer banging hookers. Like, he wasn't doing any of that. He was just being a dope and talking to who cares. It's not an issue. That said, I wouldn't have voted for him anyway.
I think New York's screwed with de Blasio.
It's the lying. I'm with Meghan on that.
But if he told the truth, people would have still let him be crucified. Like if he would have come right out and said, "I'm going to keep doing it."
The very first time I have a problem, this is a sex addiction or whatever. Whatever it is between me and my wife. She's okay with it. You guys are gonna have to deal with it. I think America appreciates that.
Everyone accepted that.
Be a fucking man.
Right.
Yeah.
I've got an issue. It's not gonna have anything to do with how I govern. Move on.
And we accepted that because his poll numbers were really good for a while.
Until
he
the
had
second
a real shot
scandal.
at it.
Yeah.
And then the second scandal hit, and we're like, "What? You never stopped? What
It's
the fuck?
he
You
made
told
his
us."
wife come out too, and as a woman, just seeing her,
How close is she to Hillary?
She's like Hillary's
Best
second,
friend or
like
something,
right hand woman.
I know.
Yeah, and she is a cool freaking lady.
She
I
seems
mean,
it.
I've met her numerous times, and she's a cool chick. And he's a fucking idiot.
He is, but look what Bill did. I mean, Bill did was far, and I don't mind it. I could care less, but it's far more of an offense than what Weiner did.
Then we don't care anymore.
Look at Larry Clegg. He's trying to blow people in a men's room. And he pleads guilty and goes, I meant to say not guilty. That's what politics is.
Jimmy's just putting examples of good and bad.
These are the people I would vote for.
Wide stance, Larry.
The wide stance. I have a wide stance.
Do you remember his interview with the policeman that leaked out? And the policeman, he was like, "You represent people," and he's like, "Now hold on." He's trying to defend himself and just digging the hole
digging
deeper.
a deeper hole.
Digging the hole deeper.
And we forgave Clinton. We don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we don't care.
I think
he's
Americans
beloved now.
will forgive. You just
We
have
do.
to be honest.
We do.
You have an issue, and I think especially when it comes to sex-related stuff, I think we live in a much different time than we once did.
We also shouldn't feel entitled to an answer on that stuff, though. Like, we forgive, but we are in no position to forgive because it's not our business.
Yeah, it has nothing about
Only
it.
stealing or taking funds or misusing public funds.
You
Then
don't think
better
an
explain
intern
yourself.
blowing the president in the Oval Office is a bit more than just none of our business?
In a weird way,
What?
unless you look at the harassment issue of a workplace thing. But as far as what he does in his personal life, I don't care. Just because I know what JFK did and I know how revered he is and loved in this country, and I know what him and
Mimi Beardsley.
yeah, and him and Bobby were both banging Marilyn Monroe, and Bobby was a great attorney general and a great man. And so who cares? It means nothing to me. As long as they're not fucking with kids, or as long as they're not hurting anybody. Like, you know what I mean? Then I don't care.
I think it's 2 points here, though. I kind of agree with what Jimmy's saying, but the guy kind of just lied. When we asked him, "Are you done with this? Because if you're done with this, we're cool too." And he said, "Yeah, I'm done with this." And it turned out he
Talking about
wasn't.
Anthony Weiner.
Yeah.
But why do we care? And like, this is my question.
I'm just saying it's two different issues. I see what you're saying,
Right.
but it's tough to, the guy just openly continued lying to
And
us.
finding weird, just random people on the internet. You haven't learned your lesson the first time. Like,
Oh, my God.
Find one.
Right?
Find someone you know in your life, or
that
something
won't
like
blab.
that.
That won't blab. Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
But it's-
the Carlos Danger name worked very well for him. Really a good cover.
But it's sad that his whole career got blown up and he didn't even get the pussy.
Yeah.
Your mom's still listening? Sorry.
She's
boy.
probably
Sorry,
not
Mom.
Oh, yeah,
listening.
she tuned out.
All right, sorry. I'm sorry, Mommy.
Sorry, Cindy.
You know what the best part of this whole thing is? 1/2 hour of the Sam Roberts After Show gone.
I think my brother knows someone in your family.
Why make it a negative thing?
Are you going over time? Are we going over time?
Yeah, we're doing this on purpose.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Why
To
does,
really make it hurt.
why does it get negative all of a sudden? When everybody's having a good time.
So Sam gets to come on and go, "Hey, it's the Sam Roberts After Show.
You hate Steven Singer.
Yeah,
That's not what my voice sounds like.
Well, that's it. Ron and Fez are coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow."
I love Ron and Fez.
Oh, yeah.
That's not what my voice sounds like, though.
Wow, you listen
Why
to
do
this.
you have
She
him?
listens.
Why I do. I
That's
have
pretty
Sirius
cool.
in my
Love it.
car. I love entertaining radio, and there's nothing worse in the world than shitty radio.
Oh, yeah.
And there's nothing worse than
know,
a shitty
Sam
radio
Roberts.
interview. There's a special kind of torture attached to shitty local radio
What makes a
interviews.
bad interview for you? Because I've been interviewed many times terribly.
people that just aren't engaged on any level having a conversation whatsoever, and people that I have been asked such offensive questions to, and I'm not easily offended.
What's an offensive question to you?
I had a guy, and it was in Albany, New York, when I called in for my book with Michael Black, and he was like, "What's sex with a Republican like? Like a senator's daughter? What's sex with a senator's daughter like?" And I'm like, "I'm not answering. This is really like offensive and disgusting." And he was like, "You know what? I heard you were cool, and you're not cool." And then they hung up.
Oh,
and I was like, "I guess I'll go fuck myself." Excuse me. I'll have fun in Albany, sir. Whatever. I know, just like terrible. And then I have done ones recently. They're just bored. They're just bored with me, bored with talking.
I can't see anyone being bored with you. We've had some people that's like pulling teeth.
Who?
Yeah.
Here we go again, because we end up forgetting them.
I love a shitty interview story.
Who are some other ones? I'll tell you.
Why can't we remember the bad ones?
I felt tension with a few. I'll tell you who I felt tension with, because he thought I was fucking with him, but I really wasn't. Casey Elwes, the guy from Princess Bride.
Elwes, yeah.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get
the guy from Princess Bride?
Yeah, but it turned out to be okay, but I thought we were going to get into it.
What's his name?
One that was in here that you were going to work with. He ended up
what's his name?
You.
This fucking sergeant from Saving Private Ryan.
Tom Sizemore. You had a weird
Tom
Sizemore.
I had a very weird.
Isn't he an addict, though?
Yeah, he's really weird.
I watched his show on VH1 because I'm
How amazing was that? Love train wrecks.
letting them
I gotta see
film
that.
shit
Well,
like
Dr.
that.
Drew is a twisted fuck. We all know that.
I don't know how I feel about
not
Dr.
Paul.
Drew anymore. I used to really like him, and now all those people keep dying. It's terrible. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, that's what has creeped us out.
Has anybody ever hit on you? Any of you when they were doing a radio
Oh,
interview?
in the old days, all the fucking time, man. I used to be a fucking looker.
Oh,
Courtney Love flashed me. That was
Courtney
nice.
Love tweaked our nipples recently.
Yeah.
Like through your shirt? Or
Yeah,
did
through
you
my
take your
shirt.
Yeah, I don't like. I don't.
I love
like
my nipples.
it?
I love
Jimmy
my nipples
loves
played
nipple
with,
play. I don't like nipple play.
Yeah.
You love
either.
nipple play?
Yeah,
I
not
think it
harsh,
just looks weird.
lightly touched. I'm very jaded, Megan. There's very few parts of my body that I haven't beaten to death. My nipples are still uncharted waters.
I think it just looks weird when you're tweaking someone's nipples. It just looks stupid.
Heidi Klum gave him a tweak one time too, which made me really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
she's-
ask her to?
Star-studded.
And me and Anthony could have went home with Veruca Salt. That's right.
Oh,
I
God.
don't know who that is.
No, that's
I'm
why I did
sorry.
it. That's why I did it.
Is that from Willy Wonka?
Old 90s band.
Yeah, isn't that Willy Wonka?
It's some alt rock.
Oh, right on.
It was an alt rock band.
girls.
Anybody
Seether.
come in drunk? That's good too, because this is it's
the host.
early-ish in the morning. Other than you assholes.
Wait, have we ever had? I'm sure we had a couple. I thought
Probably
and again,
George Wendt.
I thought George Wendt smelled like booze. I could be wrong. But if I remember correctly, I'm thinking it was him.
That's
that
a
smelled
really
that
good
way.
question.
We had Jim Jeffries come in here. Fuck.
Yeah, but
Loaded. Jim Jeffries drunk. He's a
He's a
comedian.
comic.
really funny guy.
Oh, did he come in fucked up?
Playing,
He was like on
He
ecstasy.
was pilled out of his mind.
Yeah.
Was he a good interview?
Booze.
Yeah, Jim's
it was
very funny.
hilarious.
He's always great on our show.
He started making a fucking penthouse girl cry or something.
Yeah, that's the interview that he said he wanted to pull the shit out of her ass with a knife.
What in the hell?
Oh, he was getting it.
Cindy
Justine
is
Jolie,
listening right
right?
now.
I apologize.
Cindy might still be listening.
What in the hell?
This was drunk. Have we had anybody drunk?
Well, the Ed Asner interview was terrific. I liked that one a
That
lot.
was really uncomfortable. We were in California, and I like Ed Asner, as does everyone. And Anthony's playing
No, I
poker.
like Ed Asner, too.
I'm a big Ed Asner fan, tremendous. And Opie and I are doing the show with Joe Rogan. And Ant's playing poker at a tournament, and Ed Asner sat down with us. We couldn't believe we got him. And we were talking to him for a while. And
Well, I was making fun of the fact that he was the first guy out in a poker tournament, and he didn't appreciate that. And it wasn't even that bad. So right off the bat, he was like grumpy.
well, I just don't remember.
Do you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
have like assholes coming up to you in person, like listening
all
to the
the
show?
The question is, when
All
don't
the
we?
time.
All the time.
That'll happen. It's called management.
All the time?
No, I'm just kidding. So one of the guys makes some hand gestures, and Ed had to ask what that meant, and I said, "Well, that is, a sign we do when the guest is really boring, and it's our way to." It's our way to kind of wrap up the interview.
my God.
And then he said he will never come on our show again, and blah blah blah. And
Yeah, it was very
He
uncomfortable.
said, "Go fuck yourself."
There've also been
Ed
one-
Asner told you to go fuck
Oh
yourself?
yeah, I love that he did that.
I kind of love that too. He's
Kinda
still
proud of
got
that
it.
one.
Got some fire left.
But afterwards, I went and got a big hug from Ed Asner.
A big bear hug.
Yeah, he gave me a big hug.
Big
That was
hairy
nice
bear
too.
hug.
There've been a
You were
handful.
nude.
There've been a handful that Opie and Anthony have decided at the last minute they don't want to do. So me and another guy, E-Rock, have to sit in here and pretend to be.
Oh yeah, we franchised out the show.
Are you serious?
While a guest comes in.
We've become big stars.
Yeah,
Megan.
they know
we can do things like that.
We know they don't know what we
Which
look
guest?
like, so we just
They
tell
think
them
he's
guys.
Opie and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I'm Anthony.
We've done it a few times.
David Tyree from the Giants said, "You guys are Opie and Anthony. You guys are legends." And we were like, "Yeah." And he was like, "You look really young."
No, like you look.
And we were just watching from another
No,
room.
we were asking questions as listeners from the other room.
Right.
To really make it
yes.
uncomfortable.
Is it? Why didn't you want to interview them?
Oh, we wanted to go home. It was the guy that made the big Super Bowl catch.
Years ago.
And he wrote a book about the catch called It Was More Than a Catch or
But
something.
and it wasn't.
wasn't true.
And it wasn't.
Did you see Thor or the Avengers?
No, should I?
Yeah, there's like the biggest movie of the summer, and the guy who played
Sorry.
Loki,
Yeah.
Okay.
he's like the villain in the movie.
Okay.
They decided 5 minutes before he was coming in, since they hadn't seen the Avengers, they didn't want to do it. So
So you just did it?
yeah,
I would know. I mean, then I know what you guys look like.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
just-
it's like, you know. What?
one that's certainly in the political world, Ben Stein.
Oh, that one.
Ben
That's a big
Stein?
one.
That went
Oh,
bad.
Fuck
really?
Ben
It was a
Stein.
phone-
Really?
It was a phoner.
Cindy, I hope you're not hearing this, but
What was
fuck Ben
it?
Stein.
Phone call with Ben Stein. I was doing a commercial, and he was on hold. We were going to pick him up after the commercial breaks were over.
Wait, we can play it.
You have it?
Yeah, let's
Please
play.
play
It's
it.
quick.
Oh, yeah.
It's quick. What happened?
Yeah,
it's less than a
okay.
minute.
It'll make me
Great.
so happy.
It'll be better than.
Now we got to say hi to Ben Stein, Anthony. Ben Stein.
Hey, Ben.
Hi, how are you?
Look there.
Most-
Did I just hear you do an ad where you said somebody was going to Jew down the price of a car?
No, he said chew down. You just said Jew down.
That's a lot different.
We wouldn't say Jew down on a commercial. We would say it during the show.
I
But
see.
not during a paid advertisement, Ben.
Okay.
You being of Jewish background, I would take it, Ben.
Yeah, of course.
And if we were going to say something like that, we certainly wouldn't say it just before we talked to Ben
Talk
Stein.
to Ben Stein.
I see. Well, you sure fooled me.
Oh, my God. Are we going to get off on the bad foot with Ben Stein right from the start?
Well, I really think that's a jackass thing to do. To
But
say.
we said chew down.
Well, it sounds just like Jew down.
Oh,
I mean,
my God.
well, I mean, come on. That's a crappy thing to do. That's just an absolutely explicit invitation to racism.
Well, but it's a term that is used, chew, not Jew. I wouldn't have said Jew down.
Oh, man.
Chew down. You know, you'd see like a beaver would go at a tree. He would chew down the tree.
Well, it sounds just like Jew down, and anybody who's listening to it is going to know you're saying Jew down with a tiny, tiny change in the accent, making it sound like chew down.
Oh my God, Ben, are you this insane? Are you actually this insanely crazy that you're arguing over chew or Jew down? Hello, Ben.
I think he just hung
Ben
up.
Stein just hung up.
Oh, shit, man.
Pissed. What a friggin' lunatic.
Oh, man.
That's a stretch.
Tommy Lee interview.
Oh, Tommy Lee went bad too.
I just remember what I think the most
Really?
awkward interview was.
Wow.
I think it was Kristen Bell on the phone.
Really?
Oh, Kristen Bell too.
What? Can we play that for?
Do you? I don't know if do we have time to play the entire thing?
Oh God.
We
This
might.
makes me so happy.
You want to hear a bad interview?
I want to hear every bad awkward.
Yeah.
And I would
sure?
would blame the hosts on this one. For
right.
Oh,
being a
yeah?
bad interview.
This is
That
quick.
one's pretty. I mean, that was a good one. The
There's a
Ben Stein
quick
one's
one.
bad.
There's a quick one,
Okay.
man. Really quick.
I know.
Kristen-
We got to interrupt this news story. We got a big star on the phone. Kristen Bell, the star of Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Kristen,
Yes,
congratulations on the new movie. Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
Awesome.
Wait, why did that happen?
Opie didn't want to interview her.
Because we were in the middle of a lot of
You hung up
important
on
stuff.
her?
Yes, Opie hung up on her.
You hung up on Kristen Bell. She's like a huge movie star.
That's what's great about that.
Awesome.
You should have seen Roland panicking after he
Oh, he lost his
You can't
mind.
hang up on someone that's sort of a movie star. If you're going to do it, you got to do it,
Oh,
right?
that
Was she
great.
pissed?
Oh, we never heard from her again.
Never heard from her
Publicist
again.
And actually, we liked her, of course, and she was great in that movie and blah, blah, blah. But it was just one of those things.
Linda Blair too. Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
We called up.
Wow,
Linda
she's
Blair
got
called
us thinking here.
Yeah.
Meghan McCain.
I like
Linda
it.
Blair, we just recited.
We started. Yeah, we just yelled into the phone. The power of Christ compels you. And she's like, "All right, guys, all right." But we didn't stop. It went on for 5 minutes. We just wouldn't stop.
She eventually just hung up, right?
She hung up, and then our guy there at the Comic-Con that she was at took a while to talk her back into calling back in,
Saying
they'll be cool. They were just fucking around. She called up. She goes, "Hello, the power." We wouldn't stop. She was very angry.
And Travis is reminding me of Amanda Peet. I forgot.
Amanda Peet.
You guys were looking at photos of her online. As she was on
Opie said something about what?
Were you like gross?
I think you said something about her chest.
He said something like, "I see a little problem."
No, now she doesn't like me. See?
No, what did you say?
She liked us until now.
No, what did you say?
I think
I really don't remember. I think I was making fun of her.
Were you complimenting her?
No,
well, you know how it's kind of a bit where you have a really hot girl in studio or whatever, and then you try to find that one tiny
that she just obsesses about her entire
tiny
life.
little thing.
It's terrible to do.
Asshole. Is that how you picked up? Is that how you pick up chicks? It's called a neg. It's a stupid dating tactic that men
Is it really?
use. Yeah,
I didn't even know.
It was in the game by Neil
It's in the
Strauss.
game. Yes, and
it just works out for a radio.
you like insult a woman to make her insecure, and then she'll be into you. That men of America never works on me. I'm like, go fuck yourself. Throw a drink on you.
No, it was just the tiniest, stupidest, whatever.
And then she freaked out.
I don't know. She was. You have it? How long is this?
It's about 2 minutes, but
Were you
it
there,
starts
Jim?
off.
I don't remember.
So
What about
play it if you want.
There was also Bobby Brady.
What do we do to Bobby Brady?
Well,
From the Brady Bunch?
yeah, Ant wouldn't stop humming Brady Bunch songs.
Brady
so
Bunch
he
song.
Threw a fastball at his head.
Threw a ball at my
Like a
head.
baseball?
Yes.
That was in studio.
Oh, and then when we got Meadow Soprano crying.
Oh, you assholes.
No, we turned the mics off for that.
She cried.
I forgot why.
Yeah.
That one was not our fault, and we did the right thing that day. And I actually got I forget now. It was probably an email from her father thanking us for being cool.
Good.
Because she wasn't a huge star yet. It was early on in The
fun of her
Sopranos.
and she...
No, we
weren't
didn't. I
making fun of
swear.
her. It was in the
I forgot
news.
what it was.
There was something in the news about some eating disorder stuff with her.
God.
So we brought it up without goofing on her or anything.
Not to make her, we thought she was ready to talk about it.
And I guess she was not ready. And
She wasn't
just
over
started
it.
crying.
Has anybody else ever cried?
Oh, man.
We almost had Sugar Ray Leonard cry.
Almost.
But then Anthony couldn't handle the emotional moment we were having and
Anthony
fucking
bailed him
blew
out.
it up.
That's okay, you're fine, man. And
Me
then,
and Jimmy looked at each other wide-eyed like, oh my God, we're going to have this ex-champion fucking crying in a minute.
We had a midget stripper girl cry.
We got to stop this.
How did that happen?
It'll be in our book.
Well, a girl, she was a midget, and she called in and said she wanted to audition because she wanted to be a stripper. And when we were like, well, come in, we'll let you know if you got what it takes. So she came in, took her clothes off, got on the console, like one of these type consoles.
Can I just interrupt to
On
say...
this console?
No, our
it's
old
old.
studio.
It was an old studio.
About
but it
10
was
studios ago.
Similar.
But Tom Hanks' son was in that day.
Yeah,
Colin
Colin
he was
Hanks and
part of
Jack
this.
Black were-
And Jack
was in.
Black were part of this one.
And
And Patrice O'Neill, I believe.
She got up there and started dancing, and I don't know. I guess some of the people were commenting or chuckling, and she just burst into tears.
And covered up her naughty parts.
There was a naked midget crying. It was sad. That was
are
one of those
assholes.
shows where you leave to get your car after the show's over, and the mics are off. It's not fun and games anymore, and you're just like, I'm just a horrid
What am I
person.
doing with my
Yeah,
life?
what am I doing? I'm
In
fucking-
our defense, we weren't trying to make her cry.
No.
We really weren't.
No.
Well, that's
Tears
pretty
didn't have
good.
that, at least they didn't have very far to go.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that. Some sweet stories right there.
I've lost eye contact with Meghan McCain. I can't even look at her anymore.
Why? You're not insulting me.
All right, good.
Are you kidding?
Cindy is judging you, though.
Who else?
Cindy is. I'm
Cindy's
sorry,
judging
Cindy.
you.
That porn girl cried. Yeah, she was crazy though. She was
We
behaving
had a
crazy.
porn star cry. Like, all right.
That wasn't our fault though.
You interview porn stars every once in a while, so we might have had some of her stuff on the screen, and she's like, didn't
She
want
cried.
He didn't like that
Yeah.
very much. No.
And then we had a dominatrix cry once.
What in the hell are
Yeah.
you guys doing?
Well, you asked us.
I interviewed a porn star and she didn't cry on
Who
my
was
show.
she?
Cinnamon Love. She was very nice.
we know her?
Well, did you tell her she looked like Joey Ramone, like Opie
Do
did?
you know who that is? Do you know who that is?
Cinnamon Love? Mm-hmm. No,
She's a porn star. Or she's a
Oh.
she's a
Black?
porn star. Yes, she's beautiful. She was so nice.
Really?
So nice on the show.
Cinnamon Love.
You spell it like
Love.
thin.
Oh, like
Wow.
She's
Wow,
she was,
that's all right.
She was on my feminism episode, and she was
Oh,
she was
damn.
extremely well spoken.
Some junk.
Junk in the trunk. Nice.
She's my friend now.
Wow.
She's pretty hot, man.
You have quite the
She likes Grey
eclectic
Goose, I say.
circle of friends.
I know.
Megan, they're saying you got to go. We
Yes,
stayed late for
yes.
you.
Yeah, we're usually done by 10.
Oh
Yeah,
my
we,
gosh.
we did 45
Oh
extra
my
minutes
God.
for you.
I'm
I hope you
honored.
appreciated it.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for having me on.
We barely can make it to 10 usually.
Yeah,
this is-
right?
We start
So you
limping
did
at
something
9:08.
right.
Wow.
Of course, Raising McCain airs Saturdays at 10 on Pivot TV and also on iTunes. I'm going to search out this show now.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And it's Meghan McCain on Twitter.
iTunes is
Thank
good
you
too.
so
That's a good
much.
thing to do. It's very smart.
Thank you.
Put it up on iTunes
Yeah,
immediately
the
after.
people will find it.
Yep.
You know?
And thank
We
you
live
guys
in
so
a
much.
on-demand
Thank you.
world now, so it doesn't matter. It almost doesn't matter what fucking channel you're on.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
No
Seriously,
probs.
I love this
Will
show.
you come back?
That was fun.
Anytime.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
guys are so easy.
Yeah, you're fun.
Thank you. And
Was this
Jim,
interview-
as always, it's so good to see you.
Was this interview better than the Sam Roberts interview?
Oh boy.
This interview was better than the Sam Roberts interview. I'm sorry, Sam.
Sorry, I got
Just
Sam.
made our
I'm
day.
sorry,
I got
Sam.
some
Just
years
made our
to
day.
practice.
I'm sorry.
Nice jab. That was a good one.
See, he took that as he's young, and we took at it like he's going nowhere. He's just got time to practice. That's it.
Don't
two different
listen
ways to look
haters,
at it.
Sam.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Megan
Nice
McCain,
morning.
everyone. Oh,
Wow.
Jimmy's got
Plug.
some?
October 18
Yes.
and 19, Stitches Comedy Club in Lancaster. I'm working on material. 25, 26 in Webster, New York. I'm doing the comedy club there, working on material. And then November 1 at the Beacon with Dice, and my other shows sold out.
With Andrew
So-
Dice Clay?
Yeah, November
I love
1st.
him.
Oh, good. Come to the show.
I will. I can't. Thank you. Thank you.
The Opie and Anthony Show will return in a moment. After all, millionaires have to piss too.